Okay, this is a matter of State of Michigan versus Rouletta Campbell, 23896. Ma'am, who's your attorney, ma'am?
Chris.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't sure if it was Mr. DuBois. I thought, okay.
Good morning, Your Honor. Presenting with my client, approach the status of my client.
Thank you. And your name, please. All right, thank you. Today's the date scheduled for probation violation in this matter. Ms. Campbell is currently on probation for operating visibly impaired by alcohol, and this matter was scheduled last week. We did not call it on the record. It was adjourned until today's date at 10 a.m. And counsel?
Yes, Your Honor, we had ample time to review the violations. My client's not going to contest the violations, but I would like an opportunity to allocate on her behalf.
All right, ma'am, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear from the testimony about to give this matter be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, and you heard what your attorney indicated, correct?
Yes.
And the allegations that you tested positive for marijuana on November 1st and you had a diluted sample November 5th. As to the, and that would be technical violations 5 and 6. And as to those violations, ma'am, how do you plead?
Guilty.
And you've gone over your advice of rights for probation violation purposes with your attorney, correct?
Yes.
And you understand all of those rights.
Yes.
You also understand by entering into a plea that you'll be waiving some of those rights, specifically your right to a contested hearing.
Yes.
And you also understand the possible penalty as a result of your plea.
Yes.
And specifically the recommendation is for probation to be revoked, $50 probation violation fee, and 20 days jail. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And knowing all that, you still want to continue with your plea?
Yes.
Has anybody promised you anything, threatened you, or coerced you in any way for you to enter into a plea?
No, no.
All right, and counsel, if you can please review your client.
Yes, I'd like to direct attention to November 1st, 2023. Did you submit to a drug test that tested positive for marijuana? And then as to November 5th, 2023, did you submit to a drug test that resulted in a diluted sample?
Yes.
Satisfied, Your Honor?
The court is also satisfied the plea is knowing, voluntary, and factually accurate. The court will accept your plea to the probation violation, and counsel as to the recommendation.
Your Honor, in this circumstance, I would.
Back in the breakout room, please. Just message Lance to see if he needs to go back in the breakout room. I'm sorry.
Judge, I would ask for consideration for a jail review. One of the things different about this violation of priors is that my client does in fact have a medical marijuana card and was able to get a letter from her prescribing physician indicating her use of marijuana. I did give that to Ms. Scholl. One thing I need you to respectfully request consideration is that she did submit to a test on Friday that came back negative for marijuana. That shows contrite and sincerity to the court that although she has a medical marijuana card and has the documentation, which I just gave to Ms. Shaw this morning, which we can make sure you can be printed so the court can review it, that she is complying, that she is apologetic for not doing things in the right order. But on a positive note, Judge, she has 2 jobs. She works at Motor City Casino. She's a busser there. She also owns her own transportation system for cars called She's On The Go LLC. She's a single mother to a 10-year-old daughter who's currently in 5th grade. Judge, her medical marijuana card is valid and she does have an up-to-speed letter, an up-to-date letter. I would ask for consideration for jail review. I know that it's the 5th and 6th violation, but she did not come here without a reasonable, plausible explanation. She came in here with the proper documentation, and I do believe it bodes extremely well that her most recent test is negative, showing respect to the court that although the documents that she has, she wants to get permission first, and if that permission is not granted, she will have no further missteps with her probation.
Okay. Well, first, you did not have a medical marijuana card at the time of sentencing, correct?
No.
No, that's not correct.
Well, at the time of sentencing, no, I did not.
And so, when did you first try to obtain your medical marijuana card, ma'am?
In September, the 9th of September of this year.
Okay. And you were sentenced in this matter June 28th.
Yes.
Okay. And so, did you communicate with your probation officer at all regarding wanting to apply for your medical marijuana card.
Yes, sir.
And so did your probation officer inform you of what this court's requirements are?
Yes.
And so you submitted, oh, wait, I'm a little confused. You applied for your medical marijuana card in September. You never submitted anything to this court, correct?
I submitted it to my probation officer.
Today.
No, the last time I violated, I got 10 days in jail for violating probation. I had submitted documents before then.
Just the medical marijuana card, but I don't believe it's yet the letter, because the most recent letter now we have from the prescribed petition.
Okay, and that's this one from DMC.
From, yes, from Dr. Yancey.
Okay, but this doesn't tell me anything about medical marijuana. This just tells me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Judge.
Scheduled
This
for.
is a separate issue. I apologize. This documentation is regarding a side request that we were trying to sidestep any sort of jail requirement because she does have a pending surgery. I apologize, Judge. This is a letter regarding something else, but she did provide the medical marijuana document.
Okay, and so you're saying that you provided that to probation before today?
Yes.
When did you supply that to probation?
I'll have to look at my email. I sent it to my probation officer.
Have you received anything back from this court regarding permission to use marijuana for medical purposes? Okay, because I don't recall seeing that, that's why I'm asking.
Excuse me, my probation officer, she told me that she couldn't submit the document. She said that in the email that she didn't submit the document. That was, and I sent it to her before our last court date.
So was there a reason why that she indicated she couldn't submit the document?
She said something about it not saying it's a prescription. They was just stating that they can't give authorization through my position for smoking marijuana because that's not what they do. But they gave me permission to go to somebody else because it was for my back injuries.
So they gave you a referral.
Which is why also I believe it would not be completely inappropriate for the jail review consideration so that she had ample opportunity to continue to test negative, as well as get this extra information to demonstrate to the court that she's not using this recreationally, nor is she looking to sidestep any orders of this court if she understands that they're not discretionary.
Okay, but at the end of the day, Ms. Campbell was using marijuana without any approval from this court. Whether she has a medical marijuana card post-sentence or not, that this court hasn't even reviewed.
And Judge, she did take full responsibility regarding that when we discussed the possibility of how this would work regarding violation of probation hearing. She wanted to come to court, be honest, forthright, not try to make any excuses. She understood that this was a bad decision. She wants to take responsibility for it. Otherwise, on probation, she's following the terms and conditions. She's maintaining her appointment. She's being an excellent mother. We would just ask for any leniency to give her an opportunity to demonstrate to court further compliance. We understand that any sort of violation would be made with the harshest consequences. And furthermore, for her to get the referral documentation to demonstrate to the court that it is in fact for a medical purpose, with that understanding that she cannot take marijuana until this court sees fit to either allow it or provide a decision.
Okay, well, all right. Your client, technical violations 2, 3, and 4, all positive for marijuana. All prior, and even once for alcohol as well. All prior to your client even submitting her medical marijuana card. And then she didn't test on July 7th. So this is now technical violations 5 and 6.
And Judge, at the end of the day, even with the jail review, is to be entirely within the court's prerogative to review that matter at that time, even with this new documentation that she wants to provide, and still determine that jails would be appropriate. And we're just asking for her to get a little more time to demonstrate to the court full compliance, with the understanding that the court has made no promises or assurances regarding what is going to happen with her case. And while the case is still in front of the court, and she's on probation with all other terms and conditions, there's no problem with her even providing additional testing or whatever would be required by the court to allow her this brief opportunity to get the documentation for the court and demonstrate 100% compliance.
Here's what I'm going to indicate. I'm very familiar with the Medical Marijuana Act, and that, you know, individuals that are, that need marijuana for medical purposes and are on probation, that's not to, that's to be treated as medication. I get that. The issue here is that you were not previously prescribed marijuana. You were not previously, you were using marijuana throughout probation so far without having a medical marijuana card. And the concern that this court has is that individuals often, I'm not saying this is the case, but you're on probation for operating while physically impaired by alcohol. Individuals often will supplant one for another. And individuals that come before the court that have been using marijuana for 15 years, and then all of a sudden now it needs to be for medical purposes, that's concerning to this court, because often that's not the case. And that is why this court requires some communication from a treating physician, somebody to have a medical history relationship with. And now here we are, technical violations 5 and 6. You were denied the use of medical marijuana at this point, based upon the fact that it appears though you went into a clinic and there isn't a letter that shows that the doctor referred you to this clinic. So it was denied. And while it was denied, you still used marijuana. And it's important to note on October 26th, you were negative. And then the November test, you're positive. And and counsel, your client, and I can appreciate your advocacy for your client, but your client's only been on probation since June 28th, and this is now her 6th violation, 5th and 6th violation. 4 of them for marijuana use. And quite frankly, I look at it the same as alcohol, right? So if she were to abuse alcohol 4 times, we'd be in the same situation. Because she doesn't have a valid prescription for marijuana. Well, she doesn't have a valid prescription that's been approved by this court for use while on probation. And so I don't find that your client's a good candidate for probation. I'm going to revoke probation. I'm going to, and why should I not adopt the recommendation for jail?
Your Honor, my client does have a pending surgery, and she does have significant responsibilities at home with her 9-year-old daughter, as well as 2 jobs. Judge, if jail were to be imposed, I would ask for a reduction of that, and I would ask for a court date. She has appeared at all court dates. She has never had a history of failing to appear. And one final request, if that is going to be the order of the court, before that has been implemented, she has been very slow to do well with probation at the beginning, and that's clear, and she's not trying to sidestep that. I had a very long and very face-to-face conversation with her, explaining to her what her options could potentially be, and she seemed adamant that she wanted one final chance to demonstrate full compliance. And that would be under any terms and conditions. She was not trying to have me just do a $50 fine and go on her way. She knew that there would be consequences, and she knew that it would be an uphill battle if she were allowed to continue with probation. And she does seem very eager to do so, Judge, and that's why we would be asking. I really have clients who do everything I ask them to do, and then want to still be on probation. More often than not, I have clients who just want to go to jail and don't want to do the hard work. As you indicated, she hasn't been on probation very long, which the caveat and positive scenario in that is that she has a ways to go. This isn't where she has done a bunch of jail time and she's at the end of a very short or even a very long probation period. She has a long way to go. And she just wanted to respect the request consideration if she could have that last opportunity, with the full understanding that failure to comply might not put her in a position with just getting 20 days, but she has potentially 75, 80 days to go. So she has a lot over her head if she can't go through every hoop and every compliance without any sort of misstep. And I asked her to weigh those options before even I wanted to present this argument, knowing that if the court would remotely even consider something like that, that if there was another violation, that I would anticipate full jail time, credit for what she's done, and the end of her probation period, that consequence is very severe.
Ma'am, you already served 10 days for probation violation, did you not?
Yes.
And so knowing that jail is still on the table, you still violated.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Okay. I'm here to plead guilty because I'm not trying to make any excuses, because I tested positive for marijuana, but I have not been smoking, but I've been around it. And I haven't stopped smoking marijuana since I started smoking marijuana, so I was not aware that being around marijuana can make you test positive for marijuana. Because there's no point in saying I didn't smoke it because I already tested positive for it. But the truth is, I was around it. I went to a party and I was around marijuana, and they were smoking a lot of marijuana. Because I did not smoke anything. And that's the truth.
And so, tell me about this place you were at, where all these people were smoking marijuana.
It was in our apartment. And it was her birthday party. You know, I'm the one on probation. I'm the one that's not supposed to be smoking it, but I was not aware that I would test positive just from being around it. I've never had to stop smoking marijuana, so I would not know that at all. Like, that's honestly what happened. If I smoked marijuana, I would just come in here and tell you I smoked marijuana. I already tested positive for it. There's no denying it.
So here's the science that I've learned. That it is extremely rare for somebody that has not smoked marijuana for it to show up in their system, for it to be just by being around individuals. You would have to be in a small, unventilated area for a significant amount of time with that all that's going on.
It was an apartment. I was there. I spent the night there. She was drinking. I'm not about to have her drive me home. So I did spend the night there. But I did not smoke marijuana. I was not aware that I would test positive.
Who took care of your daughter the last time that you were in jail, ma'am?
Her grandma did. So her grandma just had surgery for cancer, and now she's taking chemo. So that's going to be a very hard situation for me to get situated.
The court's going to revoke probation. The court's going to order the following. The court's going to order 30 days jail. I'm going to suspend 20. You're going to serve 10. You'll be out before your procedure.
Your Honor, may my client have a report date? Just so that you can make arrangements with your employer.
Yeah, so it's 10 a.m. on the 10th. And I know that there's a small window for you to report because you have your procedure on the 11th.
Yes.
So can you report by Thursday? Is that sufficient time for you to make arrangements?
This Thursday?
Yes. There will also be time for you to be out prior to your procedure.
Can our client do Friday, please?
That's fine. I just want to make sure that you'll be out in time for your procedure.
Yeah, she's on Friday, it's on the 11th. I know it's making it a close call, but I don't anticipate her not making it. I anticipate her getting out without.
All right. December 1st, and ma'am, let me just be very clear with you. At the jail review, you're still going to be randomly testing. No, when you're out of jail. Because I want to make sure that you're substance free. And so we're going to take that into consideration at your jail review. All right, and then good luck on your procedure, ma'am. We'll see you on February 7th at 10 a.m.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.